every time, man. Another really important category of objects in the palette. Holy shit.
Someone's writing us on Slack.
God, how do I really probably should shut that up because I'm going to do my best take and it's going to... So let me show you a little bit about how to use Anukari. Rolling. Another really important category of object in the object palette are modulators. So it's fun to build this system and it's already making what I think is a pretty interesting sound. But with modulation, we can change all kinds of parameters of the system and get even more interesting sounds. So if I click on this body object, play some sound. Now that I've clicked on it, in the right-hand properties editor panel, I can change some of the parameters for this object. So I'm going to change the mass of the body, and making the body more massive is probably going to change the pitch of the system because it's going to vibrate differently. Let's hear it. Okay, so playing with that slider, there's something interesting happening there. What I might want to do to have both hands available to play on the keyboard is automate that change using a modulator. So in Anukari, in the object palette, there's a whole bunch of modulators. We're not going to go into detail on all of them, but let's take a look at the LFO modulator. Now we could drag it into the 3D world, but Anukari allows you to take it and drag it directly onto the parameter that you want to modulate. And we can see that that created an LFO object. It automatically connected it with that green line. And we can see that the mass of the body is changing, the size of the body is changing. So let's hear what that sounds like. So this same drag and drop system for modulation works for all of the other modulator types in the entity palette. It also works for the macros in the lower right-hand side of the screen. I notice it sounds kind of cool when I grab this anchor and move it. So maybe I want to be able to move that anchor with a knob. So I'm going to grab this macro. I'm going to drop it on one of those XYZ parameters. And now when I move the knob on my keyboard, it moves that anchor. That is a whole tips and tricks video because like you can actually select a bunch of things and drag it over. And you can, there's like all sorts of different things that are possible.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
We can move on unless there's anything else about modulation that you feel is important.
I think that's, I mean, if somebody gets that,
yeah,
then they can already like do a bunch of stuff and then you're going to have to start just clicking on random things at some point.